What up YouTube, I'm here. This is going to be my ban list take for March 1st. These are just my opinions, nothing on this is going to be real or anything. But this is going to be a combination of other lists that I've seen and just my opinions. First off, banned will be Brain Control. I have a personal bias against this card, that's probably why I want it banned. In the 3 years that I have played competitively, this card has done nothing but sack me, just off of a top deck, just take their monster. It's going to be a shame to see if this actually does get hit because it is a game winner card. It's something that has to be done eventually. Taking the opponent's monsters is becoming more and more dangerous. So this card should go away for a little while. Next off, we have my cards going to 1, Brionac, just to match the OCG. It might come to 3 for all we know because Brionac hasn't been much of an issue here. But for now, I'm going to follow the OCG list and just say that it is going to go to 1 because it hasn't been much of an issue here, but it could still be an issue in Japan for all we know. Next up we have Charge of the Light Brigade. One of the most broken cards in Lightsworn. It pretty much should go to 1 just because you can search your deck for any Lightsworn, and that's pretty good. So, and it also mills off 3 cards, so it just enforces the statement that you're going to set up that Judgment Dragon a lot faster. Next off we have Judgment Dragon, this boss monster. Just bomb the field for 1,000 light points. You can potentially play like 9 of these with triple beckoning light and then 1 monster incarnation. It's kind of ridiculous in how much you can spam a Judgment Dragon in one game, so I just think that this needs to go to 1 in order to shut down Lightsworn so other decks can have a little chance to play. Next up we have Mezuki. Zombies have been an interesting matchup. I don't think, later on I'm going to discuss why Plaguespreader shouldn't get hit over this, but this needs to go to 1 in order to keep zombies a bit more tame. I've also heard Burial might go to 1, but I think that Mezuki's the real central problem and not Burial. Now going to 2, Emergency Teleport. This is in order to balance out Brain Control. Since that's going, we can now bring back Emergency Teleport because now you have a replacement for a tribute, and it also enforces the statement that you don't have to take your opponent's monsters. It just increases more synchro ability as well. So overall, Brain Control in this is an equal exchange in my opinion. To go to 3, Bottomless. It brings back Gladiator Beast into a format that is going to be a little bit more diverse. It's also going to be interesting to see on how the format is going to change now that 0 is in play. I think Bottomless can kind of go back to 3, just because it's going to be more of a control format. I think this should have been at 3 in the Lightsworn format, just because Judgment Dragon is ridiculous to play against. So I think that they should consider bringing this back to 3, because it gives more anti-meta players a defense as well. Cards not getting touched. 0 just came out. I don't have any problem with 0. Glads are going to have a problem with this. I'm not going to lie, it's kind of ridiculous on how much of a hard matchup Glads have against this 2500 beat stick that just bombs their field right back. 0 isn't much of a problem. It's the support that goes with it that isn't going to be much of a problem either. If they do hit certain things on the list, like I said, like Brain Control, the deck is going to slow down a bit, so I don't think 0 is going to get touched. Archlord Kristya. I've had a lot of people say that this is going to get hit along with Judgment Dragon. The main reason why I don't think it's going to is because the pack is still in circulation, and Konami doesn't like to hit things that are still selling. I could be wrong. I don't fully understand how Konami works and how different they are from Upper Deck. So I still think that Archlord Kristya isn't going to get hit. Without Charge and Judgment Dragon, the support that it has goes down a little bit. So next up is Royal Oppression. Royal Oppression isn't going to get touched either. Well, it might, but most decks are only playing 1 now, and it's just a splash staple. So I don't think that Royal Oppression is going to be much of a threat to anybody for much longer, depending on how the format shifts based on the changes that Konami actually makes. So even though Royal Oppression is only played 1 copy for each deck, that doesn't warrant it to get limited, in my opinion. And last but not least is Plaguespreader. Plaguespreader gives... Oh no, Plaguespreader isn't last. Plaguespreader gives a mechanic to the game that should stay. The synchro ability in all the top decks. You can ban this card over Mezuki and totally shut down zombies, but if you take this guy out, you also hurt Lightsworn, you also hurt Teledad, you also hurt all the other decks. So I kind of think that Plaguespreader is going to stay just because it balances out the game. Even though it should really consider getting banned, I don't think it's going to. And then last but not least is Gores. Everybody that wants this card banned has a personal bias against it. Even though Battle Fader's coming out, Battle Fader kind of does the exact same thing, just stops the battle phase. But Gores does a little bit more than that. Gores just puts a big monster in their way and says, haha, you can't do anything about it. That's why Gores is good, just because it's a lifesaver. at the very last minute, and Gores actually requires a little bit of skill to play. So, all this is my personal ban list. What I actually do see happening is the brain control, the charge, the JD, and the teleport are all considerable options in my opinion. I doubt we're going to have Bottomless go back to 3, just because it was kind of an interesting change last format. And I think Konami kind of likes that. So Mezuki, they're going to do something to zombies. I hope they will, at least, because they realize that we don't want 6 more months of zombies. So I hope something happens to brain control. Brionac is either going to go to 1 or stay at 3, for all we know. So it's going to be interesting to see what Konami actually does for the game. So those are my opinions. Everything I stated will be in the description. So yeah, later guys. Post your thoughts below on what you think is going to happen March 1st.